Installing a top-load washer isn't complicated, but it is pretty specific about how you do it. Hey, I'm Rory with AppliancePartsPros.com, and most of the "this thing is brand new and already shaking" calls, they start right here with something small that got skipped during install. First, make sure the space actually works. You need a water heater set to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, a grounded outlet within reach of the 4-foot power cord, and hot and cold faucets within reach of your inlet hoses. Water pressure needs to be between 20 and 100 psi, and ideally it'll be between 40 and 60 psi. And the floor needs to be level, no more than 1 inch of slope under the washer. The floor also has to support 315 pounds once you factor in water and laundry. That's not a light load. Most washers have been tested with 0 side clearance, but giving yourself about 1 inch on each side helps reduce noise transfer and makes future service easier. And if you're installing it in a closet, make sure it can make it back out of there when needed. Oh, and don't install it anywhere temperatures drop below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Water left in the system can freeze and cause damage. Before we touch anything, grab your tools: an adjustable wrench, a level, adjustable pliers, a wood block, a tape measure, a flashlight, and a bucket. The drain hose, clamp, U-form, and cable tie are usually included inside the washer basket, but your inlet hoses may not be. If they aren't, use new hoses with flat washers. Not the ones from your last machine. Bad things can happen. Let's talk drain setup for a second, because this is where siphoning and overflow issues are born. The standpipe must be at least 2 inches in diameter and capable of handling about 17 gallons per minute. The top of it usually must be at least 39 inches high and no more than 96 inches from the bottom of the washer. And this is critical: no more than 4.5 inches of drain hose should be inserted into the standpipe. Don't shove it in all the way down there just to be safe. That's how you create a siphon. On the electrical side, washers require a 120 volt, 60 Hz, 15 or 20 amp grounded circuit. A separate dedicated circuit is recommended. It must plug into a 3-prong grounded outlet. No adapters, no extension cords, and no removing the ground prong. Grounding isn't a suggestion. It's protection, and in some cases, absolutely necessary for the washer to even function. Tape the lid shut while you're moving it. Don't want that flopping around. Use 2 people. This thing has weight. Move it within 4 feet of where it's going to live, keep it upright, and set it on cardboard so you don't scar the floor. Now the part that cannot be skipped: remove the shipping base. Tip the washer back onto the cardboard supports and remove the shipping base. Some models require rotating it 90 degrees before pulling it off. If you leave that base in place, the washer will vibrate like it's trying to escape. That's just physics. Stand it upright and remove all the packaging from inside the tub. Free the power cord from the rear panel and drape it over the console so you can access the back. If there's a plastic plug in the drain port, remove it. Slide the clamp over the elbow end of the hose, squeeze it with pliers, and secure the hose onto the drain port. Place the hose into the standpipe or over the side of a laundry tub. Again, no more than 4.5 inches into the standpipe. Use the drain hose form and secure everything with the cable tie. It is the installer's responsibility to secure the drain hose so that it cannot come loose and leak. That line in the manual exists for a reason. Use new inlet hoses with flat washers. Do not reuse old hoses. Attach the hot hose to the hot faucet. Hand tighten until seated, then use pliers to go an additional 2/3 turn. Same process for cold. Do not over tighten. Do not use tape. Do not use sealant. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Before connecting to the washer, run water through the hoses into a bucket until it runs clear. That clears any debris. Now connect hot to the red inlet valve and cold to the blue inlet valve. Same tightening method. Turn the faucets on and check for leaks. A small amount of water may enter the washer. That's normal, it'll drain later. Replace your inlet hoses every 5 years. Mark the date. Future you will appreciate it. Move the washer into its final position. Place a level across the top edges. Use the cabinet seam to check side to side and use the lid to check front to back. Rock it gently. All 4 feet must be solid on the floor. If it's not level, adjust the plastic leveling feet. Turn counterclockwise to lower and clockwise to raise. You may need to adjust 2 feet. You can prop up the front about 4 inches with a wood block to make it easier. If you rush this step, the spin cycle will remind you on every load, so take your time. Plug it into the outlet. Now run through the mental checklist. Shaping materials removed, washer level, faucets on, no leaks, properly grounded outlet, and all packaging removed. To test and clean it, add half the normal recommended amount of HE detergent and run a full cycle. Let it fill, let it drain, let it spin. If it stays put and doesn't leak, you're done. That's it. Install it carefully once and you won't have to think about it again for years. If you need inlet hoses, drain components, leveling feet, or replacement parts down the line, you can find them by model number at AppliancePartsPros.com. And if you want to walk through the maintenance or common install mistakes in more detail, just say the word in the comments below.